Good day, everyone. I am Elizabeth Ramos. Now I'll be reporting one of the 9 parts of the speech, which is the adjectives. Adjectives. What are adjectives? How adjectives are used? Where are adjectives usually found? What is an adjective? An adjective is a word that tells us more about a noun. It describes or modifies a noun. For example, the dog was hungry. In this sentence, the is the determiner, dog is the noun, was is the verb, hungry is the adjective which modifies or describes the noun dog. Where adjectives go in a sentence? An adjective often comes before a noun. Examples: a green car, a dark sky, an interesting story. So the adjectives are green, dark, and interesting, which comes before a noun. The noun car, sky, and story. And sometimes an adjective comes after a verb. Example: my car is green. The sky become dark. His story seemed interesting. So the same way the first examples, we have the adjective green, dark, and interesting. But this time, the adjectives come after the verb or the verbs is, became, and seem. But adjectives can also modify pronouns. So, for examples, they were empty. So the adjective there is empty, which describes the pronoun they. Second example, I thought it seemed strange. So the adjective there is strange, which modify the pronoun I. Then for the third example, those are not expensive. So expensive are the adjective which modify the pronoun those. Now let's have the adjectives with ing and ed. So a lot of adjectives are made from verbs by adding ing and ed. ing adjectives. The commonest ing adjectives are amusing, annoying, boring, disappointing, exciting, interesting, frightening, tiring, shocking, and surprising. So, if you say something is interesting, you mean it interests you. So, for example, I read a very interesting article in the newspaper today. So, the adjective there is interesting, which describe the article or the noun article. Then next, the AD adjectives. The commonest AD adjectives are annoyed, bored, close, delighted, disappointed, excited, frightened, and tired. So, if something bores you, you can say you feel bored. For example, we had nothing to do. We were really bored. So, in this sentence, the bored is the adjective which describe or modify the pronoun we. Now let's have the adjective form. Some adjectives have particular endings. Just for example, for able and able, we have the washable, credible. For ish and like, we have childish and childlike. Then the third, full, less. We have careful and careless. For the use, dangerous and harmonious. And for the last one, why, we have dirty and pretty. So that are the particular endings of some adjectives. Now we have the adjective order. So note that we can often use two or more adjectives together. So we have first the two adjectives. So examples, so the first example, a handsome young man. So the adjective there is handsome and young, and the noun is the man. So in this sentence, we have two adjectives in front of a noun. Then second example, he's a good, wonderful, brilliant, but dreadful teacher. That's a good, wonderful, brilliant, but dreadful teacher. So as you can see, we have the same adjectives, which are the good, wonderful, brilliant, but dreadful teacher. So in this given example, some adjectives give a general opinion. We can use these adjectives to describe almost any noun, but There are also some adjectives give a specific opinion. We only use these adjectives to describe particular kind of noun. Just for example, in food, we can say it's tasty and delicious. In furniture building, we can say it's comfortable and uncomfortable. While in people and animals, we can say clever and intelligent. Now let's have the fourth example. Nice, tasty soup. So nice is a general opinion, tasty is a specific opinion, and soup is the noun. So in this sentence, we usually put a general opinion in front of a specific opinion. So for the last example, a Sally old man. So we have here two adjectives, Sally and old. So Sally is a opinion adjective, while old is a descriptive adjective. So in this example, we usually put an opinion adjective in front of a descriptive adjective. Now, let's have the adjectives after linked verbs. So we use some adjectives only before a linked verbs. Example, our teacher was ill. We had an ill teacher. So we can say our teacher was ill, but we cannot say we had an ill teacher. It's because some adjectives are only used after the linking verbs. Then now the second one, three, or using three or more adjectives. So example, that horrible big first dog. So the adjectives there are horrible, big, first. So in this example, the adjectives are in front of the noun, but it is unusual. It is very usual to have more than three adjectives if adjectives usually come in this order. So first, general opinion, second, specific opinion, third, size, fourth, shape, five, age, six, color, seven, nationality, and eight, the material. Now we have the adjectives in front of nouns. So, like the adjectives after linked verbs, there are also adjectives in front of nouns. Just for example, he lives in the Eastern District. In the second one, the district he lives is in Eastern. In these examples, we can say he lives in the Eastern District, but we cannot say the district he lives is in Eastern. Now, the comparative and superlative adjectives. Comparative adjectives. Examples, I'm feeling happier now. So in this given example, we use comparative adjectives to show change or make comparisons. Then the second, she is 2 years younger than me. So the comparative adjective there is done. So in this given example, we use done when we want to compare one thing with another. Third example, the balloon get bigger and bigger. So bigger and bigger is the comparative adjective. So in this given example, if we want to describe how something or someone changes, we can use two comparatives with and. Then the fourth example, the faster you drive, the more dangerous it is. Or when you drive faster, it is more dangerous. So in this given example, the faster and the more dangerous. So they are the comparative adjective. And we often use the with comparative adjectives to show that one thing depends on one another. Then let's have the superlative adjectives. So for the examples are it was the happiest day of my life. That's the best film I have seen this year. Everest is the highest mountain in the world. In superlative adjectives, we usually use the, like the happiest day, the best film, the highest mountain. Now let's have for the last one. How to form comparative and superlative adjectives. So we usually add er and est to one syllable word to make comparatives and superlatives. Example, for the word old, we add er to make it comparative, and est to make it superlative, which is oldest, similar to long, longer, and longest. Next, if an adjective ends in e, we add r or est. Example, nice. So it will become nicer and nicest, large, larger, and largest. Next, if an adjective ends in a vowel and a consonant, we double the consonant. Example, big will become bigger and biggest, fat, fatter, and fattest. Next, if an adjective ends in a consonant and y, we change y to I and add er or est. For example, happy. So the happy, we change the y to I and add er to make it comparative. And for the superlative, we have the happiest. Then the same with the Sally, Cellier, and Salliest. We use more and most to make comparatives and superlatives for most two syllable adjectives for all adjectives with three or more syllables. So for example, we have careful. So for comparative, more careful. For superlative, most careful. The same with interesting, more interesting, and most interesting. Then, however, with these common two syllable adjectives, you can either add er, r, and est, or use more and most. So, for example, she is one of the politest people I have ever met. She is the most polite person I have ever met. Then, for the last one, the adjectives good and bad have irregular comparatives and superlatives. So, for example, good became better and comparative, then became best and superlative. The same with bad, it became worse in the comparative and worse in the superlative. That's all for my report. Thank you for watching.